Patching is one of the first things you learn, as it is the skeletal structure that keeps your light show together. As you may have learned, our patch allows us to map addresses to channels as a way of organizing the lights. For example, addresses 127 and 234 may be on other sides of the theater, but the function they perform on stage may be similar, so we may patch address 127 to channel 10 and address 234 to channel 11. This makes our lives much easier when we're actually programming the show, as we no longer need to turn every light on and off to see where it is. To get started with patching, click the plus button in the bottom left screen and select Patch, which is also tab 12. You will notice the screen has turned blue. This means that you are now in blind mode. Blind mode is used to edit things like patches, palettes, macros, and effects. To get out of blind mode, use the F1 key on your keyboard to get back to live mode. If you do not have access to your function keys, click on the virtual keyboard in the upper right hand and select Live. Live mode is where we will end up doing the majority of our programming, but we will stay in blind mode to complete our patch. Looking now at the main area of our screen, there are several columns, but the three most important ones are the first three. Chan, which stands for channel. Address, this will display the address or addresses patched to a particular channel. And type, this will be important later and tells the computer what properties you are allowed to change on a fixture, as well as the amount of addresses that need to be patched to that fixture. At this point, you should have been given a list of channels and their addresses. To get started with patching, first type the channel you want to patch. I'm going to start with 10. And notice how the software has automatically added Chan to the front of my command line. This is important to notice because whenever you are programming, the software automatically assumes you are talking about a channel when you type a number, unless you tell it otherwise. If instead of Chan it says address, you are in the wrong format. To change to the correct format, either use the shortcut F4 or find the Format button in the virtual keyboard. Follow the channel number with A, which will show up as address, followed by the address that that channel should be patched to. For my example, I'll do 127. In the command line, it will look something like this. This means that channel 10 will be patched to address 127. Finally, you can select the type of fixture. Click on the type field beside the address of the channel you just patched. Dimmer is the default. This is for any conventional style lights you have that have no additional features. Select the fixture you want using the Show, Manufacturer, and Search buttons at the bottom of the screen. Show shows you any of the fixtures that you currently have in use in your show file. This is useful if you want to change multiple different fixtures to this type. Manufacturer shows you a list of manufacturers and the types of fixture they produce. And Search allows you to search for a specific fixture. If you make an error while patching, it is easy to fix. Select the channel you want by typing that channel number. So let's say I did channel 10 wrong. If I type channel 10, if I look in the bottom right corner, you can see a Unpatch button. If I click that, you can see it loads Unpatch into my command line. And if I hit enter, it will ask me to confirm. And if I hit enter again, channel 10 will be unpatched. This unpatched key is one of what is known as soft keys. If you keep an eye on this bottom right corner, as you program more and more, you'll notice that these keys change from time to time. It is also possible to patch addresses in batches. This is useful if all the addresses that you plan on patching come sequentially. For example, patching many LED fixtures at the same time. Batch patching is very similar to regular patching, but you add more than one channel to the command that you use to patch. If you have set the fixture type before running this command, it will automatically give each channel its required number of addresses before it starts the next channel. This is because many non-conventional light types require more than one address to function, and the start point of these addresses can be set on the light itself, so the light can be easily batch patched. For example, I'm going to set channels 11 through 14 to have the type color source spot deep blue. This can be done easily by typing 11, then the letter T, which gives us through, and then 14 to specify the final channel. If the channels you want to patch are not in order, you can combine multiple channels by hitting the equal sign. It's weird, but it will show as a plus, and then you can add another channel. Then as before, we press enter, and we can now click in the type column and select the type. I will head to manufacture, scroll over to where it says ETC fixtures, and then I will select the color source spot DB plus 3D, and then the 5-channel variant. You can now see it has applied that type to all of those channels. Because each of these channels takes 5 addresses, for the sake of an example, we want these channels to be patched into addresses 200 through 219. Select your channels as before, then hit A for address, as before, and now all we have to do is specify the starting address. So in our example, 200. Hitting enter will automatically patch these addresses exactly the way we wanted them to.